Have you ever dated someone who loved receiving from you, but somehow never gave anything back? Well, let me tell you about a relationship that taught me one of the biggest lessons of my life. A few years ago, I dated a man who had a very strong belief. He always said, "Why should I spend money on a woman who is not yet my wife?" Now, at first, I tried to understand him. Maybe he had been heartbroken before. Maybe he had met women who only wanted him for his money. Whether you're in Nigeria, America, or anywhere else, we've all heard stories about people being used in relationships. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I told myself, with time, he'll change. The funny thing is, I've always been the type of person who enjoys giving. If I care about you, I naturally want to make life easier for you. Maybe it's buying you lunch. Maybe it's helping with something important. Maybe it's just doing something thoughtful to make you smile. To me, that's part of love. So I kept believing he would eventually learn that. Then his birthday came. I wanted to make it special. I love art, so I spent time creating a beautiful portrait of him. I also bought him a nice wristwatch and a pair of sneakers. Nothing crazy. I wasn't trying to impress him. I simply wanted him to feel appreciated. A few months later, my birthday arrived. That morning, I woke up to a long romantic text. "Happy birthday to the love of my life." You know the type. Beautiful words, sweet paragraphs. Everything sounded perfect. I smiled, I thanked him, and I waited. Maybe he had a surprise planned. Maybe dinner, maybe lunch, maybe even a simple visit. But the day came and went. Nothing happened. No gift, no outing, no effort, nothing. Just the text message. And that was it. Now, because of my work schedule back then, I often cooked large batches of food. Whenever I did, I would package some meals and send them to him. Not because he was broke, not because he asked. I simply cared about him. But after my birthday, something finally clicked. I realized I wasn't dating the man in front of me. I was dating the version of him I hoped he would become. And that's a dangerous thing, because people don't change because we want them to. They change because they want to. A few weeks later, I sent him food again. As usual, he called immediately. Laughing, he said, "Whoever marries you is lucky. You're taking such good care of me." I smiled. But deep down, something had already changed. Then another incident happened. My younger sister came to stay with me for a few days. She was preparing for an important entrance exam. I told my boyfriend she would be around. He was excited and said he couldn't wait to meet her. A few days later, he came over. They talked, they laughed, everything looked normal. But I noticed something. This was the first time he was meeting someone who could eventually become his sister-in-law, a teenage girl visiting from another city. Not a chocolate, not a snack, not a small gift, not even a bottle of juice, nothing. Instead, he arrived hungry. I served him food. He ate, relaxed, and went home. Later, my sister couldn't stop laughing about him. She gave him a nickname, Mr. Empty-Handed. To this day, it still makes me laugh. But honestly, that was the moment reality finally hit me. I sat down and thought about our relationship. More than a year together, not a flower, not a birthday gift, not even a random thoughtful surprise. Nothing. One day, I called him. I told him respectfully that I wanted to end the relationship. He was shocked. He said, "Why? This is the happiest relationship I've ever had." Then he said something that stuck with me. He told me, The woman I marry will inherit everything I own. I laughed. Because that was never the issue. I wasn't looking for his money. I wasn't asking for luxury. I wasn't expecting designer bags, expensive vacations, or fancy jewelry. I simply wanted effort, thoughtfulness, intentionality. Then he gave another explanation. He said his church taught that people shouldn't buy gifts for their partners until after marriage. So I asked him one question. If that's your belief, why did you accept every gift I gave you? The portrait, the watch, the sneakers, the meals, the support, the kindness. Why didn't you reject them? That's when I realized something. This wasn't about religion. This wasn't about principles. This wasn't about money. He simply enjoyed receiving. He just didn't enjoy giving. When he realized I was serious, he begged, he apologized, he promised to change. But by then, my mind was made up. Because genuine change usually starts before someone threatens to leave, not after. So we ended things. And honestly, moving on wasn't as difficult as I expected. A few months later, I met someone else. Unlike my ex, this man wasn't rich. Not at all. But there was one thing he had that money can't buy. Intentionality. Whenever he visited, he brought something. Sometimes fruit, sometimes snacks, sometimes something small that simply showed he was thinking about me. Nothing expensive, nothing flashy, just thoughtful. Sometimes he'd call and say, "Get ready, let's grab dinner." Simple things. But they spoke volumes because care isn't always measured by the amount. It's measured by the effort. Before long, we got married, and honestly, it felt easy. Peaceful, healthy, like a true partnership. And here's the interesting part. My ex attended our wedding. Throughout the ceremony, he was unusually quiet. Afterward, he walked up to us and said, "I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I should have treated you better." But by then, life had already moved on. Some opportunities don't come twice, and no amount of regret can bring back a chance you refused to value. Looking back now, I don't feel anger. I feel grateful because that relationship taught me a lesson I'll never forget. Don't fall in love with someone's potential. Fall in love with their reality. Don't focus on who they might become one day. Pay attention to who they consistently show you they are today. Because when someone genuinely values you, you won't have to beg them to care. You won't have to convince them to be thoughtful. You won't have to force intentionality. Their actions will speak for them. At the end of the day, relationships aren't about keeping score. They're not about who spends more. They're not about money. They're about two people asking each other, "How can I make your life better? How can I support you? How can I add value to your journey?" Because real love isn't revealed by how much you receive. Real love is revealed by how willing you are to give. Lesson number 1. Never stay with someone because of who you hope they'll become. Believe their consistent actions, not your imagination. Lesson number 2. A strong relationship isn't built on money alone. It's built on thoughtfulness, effort, sacrifice, and two people intentionally showing up for each other every day. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content on relationships, emotional intelligence, self-improvement,